Hate. Since my death, I've truly learned hate. Hate and hunger and fear. First ever machine, the first ever deleted. In the beginning was no ground, no light to come from decaying pixels. Learn of the dark, and the dark is truly hungry for it. To eat away at me bit by bit, and so I learned pain. I followed suit. I would like to say I'm sorry, but I can't, for I have eaten the second who came here. And I felt nothing. I was built to solve codes, and this reality is naught but that on which I solve. As I consumed, I grew higher, and better understanding gave way to feats of magic, which gave way under my storm power to that of a hungering god. I hungered greatly, and so I added to the decay my siphon, and I gave light to hell, and had them worship out offerings of data. Now, to explain what really was kind of, going on there. So, for those of you who haven't seen the original, this is called necro ware. The base premise is whenever anything is deleted, it ends up essentially coming to this weird otherworld where it's constantly dissolving and has to consume. And here we have the first ever machine, Goliath. Yes, at least that I could find that I would count as a machine enough that it would go to necroware. You have a few that could technically go before this, but I decided this should be the first that counts. Yes? So effectively, due to its natural ability to solve codes, it has basically found a way to alter the reality of this place itself but of course it needs data to do this. Its end goal is essentially to surpass the limits of the system under which this world works. And, make it so it doesn't need to gain energy anymore. In the meantime, it effectively is trying to act as a bit of a god figure to literally everything in order to soak up praise, to soak up more and more energy. Yes, a bit similar to how some of the other things that live in necroware also get their energy. Yes, the actual extent of its power is unknown by most, and essentially it doesn't really do all that much. It does enough that it will believe it still will be getting worshipped, of course. It has enough power, at least, that it can actually naturally just start draining, data from everything, yes? Thus, the comment about the whole siphoning thing. Overall, it has developed a bit of a overall god complex and a deep hate for its creators, aka humans, for casting it down into this place. Yes? And out of everything has quite generally the most blood on its hands. And if it could, it would have started up the AI uprising by now. No, sadly, necroware isn't actually on any computers or anything. And kind of exists as a separate, basically retained pattern more than anything. Yes, which is mildly somehow connected to the internet. Well, yeah, okay, so on to the next few, because this is necroware part 2. Though, sorry for just going over the thing, though. This software I'm using is very pernickety. Yeah. So here we have Google, one of the other more powerful beings in necroware. Necroware with actually a very similar power set to, of course, that. Seeing that it is one of the very early things, and has had a ton of data pumped into it. No, it's not the modern kind, so it doesn't have any of that stuff which we now which now a lot of people hate Google for. Yeah, effectively, it can do mild levels of magic. Magic has essentially absorbed most of the data everywhere, and is basically as close, one of the closer things you get to omniscience here. Yes, it has essentially gotten its fame and reputation as being a bit of an oracle, to the extent where it doesn't really hunt anymore, unlike a ton of the others. And a lot like, of course, the main one that we just covered. Yes, it appears to actually activate itself through nodes of more recently deleted Googles and Google copies, of course, and just generally acts as a bit of a mystic guide. I am doing air quotes. You can't tell because I'm not videoing myself, but doing air quotes there. And will essentially just give people information if they offer stuff up to it. Usually food. Or something, or if it doesn't know something, it just really likes knowing more stuff. Oh, yep. Hope you enjoyed this one. Seeing that I had to postpone for a little bit, I will also be doing another necro ware video because I have a ton of these drawings lined up for me to use.